Hi, it's Michelle Last here, and I'm going to show you today how we make these little Easter bunny boxes, which would be great for Easter, but they're also good for other things. I was wondering actually if they'd take a box of the tissues, but I haven't tried it, so I'm just going to show you how we make them. And I've made them in 3 different colours, but you can make them in whichever colour way you wish. And I also know that you will start making them much better than mine. This is an idea that's been rumbling around in my head for a while, and I just had to get it done and get a video done before Easter had been and gone. So yeah, I hope you have fun making these. So basically what you need is you need a piece of cardstock that measures 6.5 inches by 8.25 inches. Now all of these measurements are in inches. The 8.25 inch measurement is actually the standard A4 short length, which is actually 210 centimetres, so I haven't trimmed anything off that. So it's 6.5 by 8.25. And then what you're going to do is you're going to score it with the 6.5 inch edge at the top of the trimmer like this, and you're going to score at 2, 3, 5 and 6, which I've done already. And then you're going to turn with the 8.25 inch at the top of the trimmer, and you're going to score at half, 1.5, 5.5 and 6.5 inches, which will give you a piece of card that has been scored like this. Now what we need to do now is cut away these sections that I've added black to, and basically what you're going to do is you're going to look at your piece of card and you want one of the long pieces intact, and everything else apart from the middle section is going to be cut away. So I'm just going to show you how I do that in my trimmer. I just line up the score lines with my trimmer, and this little point on my trimmer here will show me exactly where the blade is on the underside. So if I'm very careful, I can just use my little point and just cut on there the score lines. You can use scissors, of course, you can do whatever you wish, but I think it's quite a neat trick to be able to use your trimmer. And then you're just going to trim those away. Now I've got lights on to give you a better view, but it's meaning it is reflecting, which is making it hard for me to see, so you must bear with me. And then that looks pretty good. And then the bottom section here. I haven't quite pressed hard enough on that one. Get back and do that one. There we go. So that's what you will have left. So just to show you, it's exactly the same as the one that I've already done. I don't know if you can see, but actually I could do with just trimming that little extra piece off with scissors. I just haven't caught that well enough. So I would trim that off with scissors before I start it. So I'm going to use the piece that I've got here already. Now your pieces that you've cut off, if you hadn't been like me and marked them with a black line, you would actually be able to use them for the punch outs for the rest of the bunny. So you can use your offcuts, so just set those to one side. And what we're going to do is we're going to get the scallop tag topper punch, which looks like this. Only a few more days to, if you place an order during celebration, which finishes on Monday the 31st of March, and you place an order for £45 or more, I will send you my tutorial to make 9 lovely projects with this punch. So you could include this in your order, get a freebie from Celebration and a PDF tutorial on lots of different projects to make. Now what I'm doing is I'm feeding the longest strip in. This is why this is 2 inches wide, because it fits perfectly in the channel. Slide it in, just by bypassing the sides here, punch it out, and then I've got the nice scallop tag topper there. Now we're going to actually assemble our box, so you might want to just reinforce the creases on your box. Now you could use a bone folder and be really precise, or you can just do it by hand. I'm just going to trim off these little edge pieces here to create a little angle, just to make the folds fit into the box nicer. So if I add a bit of glue to this little edge strip here, I fold that in. Now when I fold the top piece over, that should nest straight on there like that. I've got a bit of excess glue so that my box is complete. you've now got the little bottom piece. If you wish, you can actually glue that in place. I've made it so that you can use it as an opener if you wish, but you could just add a bit of glue and use that as a closure, and then that is the front of your box. And what I did was I added a little glue dot to just the little tip of the tag topper there, like that, so that that will keep it closed. I don't press it down really hard, and then I can lift that. And the more you open and close it, the less tacky it becomes, and it'll just be tacky enough to just keep it closed. So that's the fundamental basis of your box. And then I'm going to use the large oval, which is the 1 3/4 inch by 7/8 of an inch, and I'm going to punch out 4 of these. So, and remember I said use your offcuts. This would be perfect for your offcuts. So I've got 4 of those, which are going to give 2 paws and 2 ears. And then I've got the very small oval punch, which I think is just called the oval punch, 1 3/8 of an inch by 5/8 of an inch. And I've chosen some polka dot pink paper from the patterns stack. I'm sure you can use whatever it is you have at home. But I thought it had to be pink for the bunny ears, and I punched 4. I don't need 4, I need 2. And now what I tried to do is I tried to bend the ears a little bit, and I just couldn't find anything to bend them round, so I've just bent them round my my Tombow glue, and I'm going to do this with just 2. And then I'm going to stick the inner of the ear in place. Like that. Then what I did was I cut a little strip of the pink polka dot paper, which I'd already done, which I now can't find. So, oh, here it is. So I just cut a little strip. I think it's about, how big is it? So it's in between 1/2 inch and 3/4 of an inch. It really doesn't matter, but the reason I've cut a strip is what I do is I've got my heart punch, and I'm going to line up the heart punch with the paper, and I'm going to feed it so that I don't get the top part of the heart punch like that. Okay, so it just will give me the nice little nose, the triangle nose. Then to create the eyes, I just use my owl punch, and I use the eye part, which is the same for the owl. I just punched out 2 very small dots for the eyes. You can use anything to create the eyes and make them as big or as small as you wish. And then what I did was I stuck on my little nose, and on my samples I actually coloured the nose with Crystal Effects. When I say coloured, sorry, I don't mean coloured. I mean I just smeared Crystal Effects on top of the nose, and it just creates a little shiny nose, like a little wet nose. Where are we? I don't know if you can see that. And so we have our nose in place. You're going to need your marker pen to draw in the whiskers, which I need to grab. Okay, and I'm going to just use my thin tip, and I'm just going to add some whiskers. Then I would add the eyes, but just for speed, if you wish, you can just add them yourself with a marker pen. And I'm going to put some glue on the base of one of the ears, and I'm just going to stick that where I would like it to go on the back of the box. Just need to hold that in place for a second. In fact, I didn't put much glue on there, did I? You could use a glue dot if you're impatient and you don't want to wait for it to dry. So I'm just going to hold that in place. And I'm going to use Tombow again to stick the other one in place. Just hold that for a second. There we go. Now what I'm going to do is create the little paws. So all I did was I decided where I wanted my paws to be, and then just bent over the edge. Decided where wanted my other paw to be, and bent over the edge, and then just added a bit of glue on the inside there and stuck that in place. I can't tell you how difficult this is to do with this tripod in the way. And I've got a photo, funny photo to share with you on this post, this blog post, which I'll show you on my desk like before I actually started recording my video. And then you can add whatever it is you'd like to the centre of your little bunny's hands. There's a little flower there from the Petite Petals punch and stamp set. The same again, and I've just added the bird punch leaf to add a little detail there. And I've used the Happy Easter. And in this one I'm going to show you how I made this one. What I did was I stamped the sentiment from Teeny Tiny Wishes, and I have the Happy Easter stamp here. I've got my black StazOn, and I'm going to use this off-cut card here, and I'm just going to stamp the Happy Easter. Then I'm going to get my word window punch, and I'm going to punch that out. And I'm going to go snug, sorry, I need to do this upside down. I'm going to go snug towards the Easter, the R of the Easter, okay, because this is where I want my end of my word window punch to go. Now that means that my word window punch out is actually longer than I would like or need it to be, and it might look a little bit strange like that. So what I wanted to do was to shorten it. So there's a couple of things you can do. Basically you can, if you're very careful, feed it into your punch. Sometimes it's better if you feed up like that. So feed it up into your punch. If I just get it in the right place there. Feed it up into your punch, move it along to where you exactly would like it, and use the edge as a guide on the edge of the punch there. Punch it out, and then you've just got a smaller word window punch, and then that will be just tied with some thread on round the flowers. Then to make the flowers I just used a bit of green cardstock, and I used the fringe scissors from Stampin' Up, which you may not have seen me use before, and all I did was I cut some flower stems like this. And before I did anything, I actually got my my linen thread. You could use baker's twine, but I've used linen thread, and actually tied that around the stems and tied them in a knot first, like that. And then that way, if I do it in a double knot, it's not going to come undone. And then if I tie a bow, and then what I can do is make my bow look pretty, pull it tight, and now I can trim off the top. Which means that I can vary the length of my stems by pulling and pushing them up and down, and then just adding flowers to those, which is all that I've done with this one here. Okay, and then I've just stuck that in place like that, so he's holding the flowers. So really pretty simple. I've got the I will post photos of this on my blog, and you have the video to show you how to make it, so I hope that you get to make loads. You can fill it with all sorts of treats, as many as you wish, lots of eggs, all sorts of things. So hope you've enjoyed watching. Please pop by my blog or visit my online store, and there is still a last few days to place an order in time before celebration finishes, in which case you would get, if you spent £45, you would be able to choose a free celebration item, and also I would send you the PDF tutorial of 9 different things to make using this punch, which will show you what a great investment it is. So thanks for watching. Okay, bye bye.